Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about winter essentials that never go out of fashion. These are pieces that I think really stand the test of time. They're things that have been added to my own wardrobe over the years with the intent of having them around for many, many years to come. So let's get started. Number one on this list has to be a high quality formal coat. So I really encourage you to have a piece in your wardrobe that you can dress up, something that's really versatile. So you can wear it on more casual days, but when you do need to go to something more formal or even to work, you can throw this on and still feel appropriate. So my recommendations here would be to find something in a really beautiful material. I love wool. I think vintage wool coats are exceptional if you don't want to buy a new one and you're on a little bit of a tighter budget. And I think that finding something in a really beautiful color that really complements you in a length that is flattering, my recommendation would be something that comes at your knee or just a little bit longer for the optimal formality. And I think that having something like that in your closet is perfect because it's really something you can wear all winter long. And if you find those style points, it's something you can wear for many, many years. Next is a high quality casual coat. So if a formal coat is anything that comes to your knee or longer, a casual coat is anything that comes to your knee or higher. So this can be a coat or a jacket depending on the definition you prefer. But I recommend finding something that you can chuck on with any outfit and not feel overdressed. I think it's a nice option to have in your wardrobe because I know personally in the winter I can start to get really tired of my coats and jackets, and having something in a slightly different length is a really nice option for me. So for me, this tends to be my Barber. It's technically a jacket, but it works for me and my lifestyle. It's also very practical because it keeps me really dry and really warm. Even when I was living in New York, if I layered under this jacket, I could wear it almost all the way through December. It's fantastic. And then for you, that might be something quilted, maybe a pea coat, anything that fits all of these points that also complements your lifestyle, I think is very nice to have on hand. My next winter essential is a classic hat that flatters you and doesn't feel comical. I know that it's been a long journey for me to find a hat that really feels comfortable to wear and something that I don't feel like I'm wearing a costume when I put it on, and it makes a big difference. I really notice that I'm warmer when I keep my head nice and toasty. So I encourage you to find that for yourself and really find something that works with your lifestyle and where you live. So for me and where I live and the winters that I experience and the winters that I've experienced in the past, I have two styles. The first is a fedora. I love this, especially when it has a medium brim, because anything too wide brimmed looks like a joke on me. It looks like a costume because I'm petite, I'm 5'3" and I have a small head. So anything too big really does veer into costume territory. And then I also really love berets. I love them because I can change the direction that I'm wearing them, either put it over to my left, over to the right, slightly back, or more forward. And I find it very flattering for me, again, and my preferences. So find that for yourself so that you don't dread wearing one, because it really does make a big difference. And I think makes you a lot happier when you are actually warm in the winter, and hats are so important for that. Along those same lines, I think gloves are an absolute winter essential. Keeping your fingers nice and toasty makes such a big difference, and I am way happier when my appendages are nice and warm. So finding a beautiful pair of gloves, there are so many great vintage ones if you don't want to buy anything new, is really, really important. I think that finding something in a color that will go with your hat and your jacket will make you look really chic. I touched on this in my How to Look Chic in the Winter video. I'll link it here for you. And I think that making sure that you're finding a pair that's really comfortable to wear, you can move your fingers in, and something that again complements your winter wardrobe is so important and an absolute essential for me. If you've seen any of my past videos, then this next one will not be a surprise, and that is a great scarf that's warm and in a color or a print that really flatters you. I think scarves are so good for the winter because it's prime scarf weather, and then also it's a great way to play around with your personal style when our winter wardrobes can start to feel a little bit drab. So I recommend finding something in a color that really lights up your face and kind of brings some brightness to a dreary winter day, and then playing around with how you tie it. There are so many ties that I love. They're so easy easy, even though they look really elaborate, and have fun with how you wear it. So it doesn't have to just be worn underneath your jacket and in kind of that empty space. It doesn't have to be just tied multiple times. You can drape it over your shoulder. You can tie it in a great way over your coat, which I love. And then of course, as winter starts to finally cool down in a couple months, you can wear that with an open coat for some beautiful visual interest. I love scarves. My next winter essential is a classic and versatile sweater. I love sweaters and I fully embrace sweater weather. The second it gets cold, all the season long, I just don't stop wearing them because I love them that much. And they're so cozy for me. They feel like a great piece that I really want to get the most out of. And over the years, I've found a couple silhouettes that really work for me and a couple materials that really work for me. And I stick to just that. The only thing I will vary is the color. And for me, it's been really beneficial because I have pieces that are different enough but aren't different just to be different. So I have things that I can ensure I actually like to wear. And for me, that tends to be a crew neck, a V-neck, sometimes a cardigan, I've got a couple in my wardrobe, and then a turtleneck. And as long as I have those in cotton, wool, or cashmere, I have versatility, I have variety, and I have pieces that are really beautiful all winter long. So if you're just starting out in your sweater department and maybe you want one sweater that's going to be super versatile, I recommend finding the neckline that's going to be very flattering, whether that's a crew or a V, and then having fun with just one basic color. Find one of your core basic colors from your wardrobe, maybe that's gray or navy, and then buy a beautiful sweater in just that color. Honestly, that's really all you need. The more is just fluff, and because you can buy other sweaters, when it comes down to it, you really just need one. And you can layer that up and down and add scarves and jewelry and really have a piece that's incredibly versatile and an absolute essential for me. I could not make a winter essentials video and not include boots. I really love boots, and I've lived in a couple different environments since I started this wardrobe journey, and I've got two that I rotate depending on the weather I'm experiencing. So for my current winters that are slightly more mild, ankle boots will take me through the entire season. They're really comfortable, they're really warm, especially if I put on nice cozy socks that are a little bit on the thicker side. And then I also can wear them with all of my pants, all of my jeans, and skirts and dresses even. So for me, it's a beautiful, versatile shoe. But when I lived somewhere much colder, tall boots were imperative. I found that a really tall boot coupled with really thick socks kept me warm all season long. They look really chic, they're really practical because they actually do serve a function, but they look great. So find that for yourself. Take a pair of pants that you love with you to the shoe store and then try on different styles and find something that when you're really honest with yourself, you can walk in, you can be comfortable in, and something that you know will keep you nice and toasty. Along those same lines, I think a pair of timeless pants is absolutely essential when it comes to winter dressing. And I think specifically something in a nice heavy material. So something with a beautiful texture, if that's what you're into for your wardrobe, maybe some tweed or some herringbone, something in a really great color that's gonna complement the beautiful sweater that you have and your beautiful overcoat and the shoes that you pick. And then finding something that's gonna be warm enough for you. So because I live in a mild winter now, I can get away with my thin wool pants that I wear pretty much all year long, excluding the dead of summer, and it's enough for me. It keeps me warm, especially with some nice leggings underneath on very cold days, and then tall socks if I need to. But when I was living somewhere very cold, I had a pair that was a really nice thick wool material, and they were lined. And it was a huge difference. I never wore skirts and dresses in the dead of winter, and instead I always wore that. And last but not least is heat tech or thermal underwear and underlayers. This is something I discovered back when I was living in New York and I had to commute a lot. I had to walk outside for long distances and I had to run a lot of errands outside, and you're really exposed to the elements and you get very, very cold. So I found these and they made such a big difference. I was able to stay super toasty, even in thinner sweaters, as long as I had this underneath. And I cannot recommend them enough. You can find them pretty much anywhere. I know Uniqlo has some good ones. I've seen them at Costco. I've seen them literally everywhere. And they're so great because they're really thin, but they keep you super toasty. So I have 2 long sleeve t-shirts that fit this bill, and I layer those under sweaters. Not so much anymore because it's not that cold where I live now, but when I was living in New York, every single day. I basically wore one. And then also long leggings that have the same material. Those are great underneath any pants. They make any of your pants super warm, even jeans. And I find jeans are a little cold in the winter sometimes because the ice and the wind can kind of make them feel a little bit chillier than they are, I think, other times of the year. And layering those leggings underneath makes a big difference. I highly recommend it, and it's an absolute winter essential for me. And there you have it. Those are my winter essentials that will never go out of style. These are the things that I plan on wearing for many years, and I think have looked timeless for years and years before, and hopefully years into the future. So I hope that you liked this and you found it helpful. I know I personally would have loved to have a guide like this when I moved from somewhere warm to somewhere cold. So if you're in a similar boat, I hope that this gave you some direction. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.